healthy Lonzo. I think I would take a healthy Lonzo all day. Maybe not this version,
Absolutely.
but the one that was on the
Peak
Lakers,
Lonzo, I would
on the
take
Bulls.
over peak LaMelo, even though LaMelo is a better, like a more talented basketball player. But I am if Lonzo was on this Hornets team, I would feel better about it. Peak Lonzo.
This is gonna sound like so much hate, and I swear it's not. Quick review of part 1 of my NBA tiers. Rock bottom, Sacramento Kings. The bottom, Nets and Pelicans. Gap year, Pacers, Washington Wizards. Listen to part 1, you'll understand why the Washington Wizards are under gap year. Enjoy the ride, Dallas Mavericks, Utah Jazz. The Chicago Bulls tier, Chicago Bulls. Franchise players, franchise questions, Milwaukee Bucks, Los Angeles Clippers, Memphis Grizzlies, play-in dynasties, Atlanta Hawks, Miami Heat. Now, for part 2, trending down, I've got the Orlando Magic and I've got the Golden State Warriors.
And if you listened to the last pod, at the end of it, Kyle and I were talking. I brought up, I was like, the Warriors could be in that superstar and then the question, like that one. But he was like, it was debating between those ones and this one. So we're kind of leaving off on the Warriors conversation that we had. And what was the name of this tier again?
Trending down.
Trending down. Fair. 100% fine with the Warriors being in this. Hurts my heart, but I'm perfectly fine with the Warriors being in this because Draymond doesn't have many years left, and he is trending down as a player. The organization has been trending downwards in the moves that they've made. We talked about it a little bit earlier when we were talking about Steph Curry and us being upset with the fact of him not having a great second half, like kind of run of his prime because he's extended his prime for so long. But there definitely should be here. The Magic are unfortunate to be in this tier. I think with them, it's been injury that's also hurt them, but at the same, like, because Paulo's missed time, Franz has missed time. They've been kind of like a revolving door-ish when it comes to their stars being hurt. But going into this year, they were probably one of the 4 favorites in the East, because I don't think people had the Pistons really there yet. So I would have said people didn't have Boston this high either going into the season. We didn't think that. We thought everyone was, me included, thought it was like, Boston this year, they're not going to have Tatum. They're going to kind of just take this year, be a frisky 6th seed or something like that. It was really the Knicks, the Cavs, the Magic, and then that 4th team might have been either a Pistons possibly or a Hawks, and then a Bucks were kind of the teams that were thrown in there. So it's unfortunate that the Magic are here, but I think with their injuries and things I would actually put them here too. I'm fine with you having here both of these teams in this year.
Yeah, we kind of already talked about the Warriors, so I don't really have much to say about them. The one thing that did just come to my mind, and I've never thought of this, and I'm surprised, but just talking about Lil Wayne, Steph, like in his prime, like before KD was there too, kind of like Lil Wayne. You could kind of say Steph Curry was like basketball's Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne was rap Steph Curry. Just look forward to seeing Steph Curry play. Look forward to listening to Wayne rap when they were in their primes for sure. So I think there's some similarities there. The Magic, even when they've had their guys, what's really bothered me is they can't get a rhythm. They were, I mean, you said the Pistons, Keenan, they're supposed to be maybe not the 1 seed and playing as well as the Pistons are, but they were supposed to be that young team that was supposed to take the next step, who has not taken the next step. And this offseason,
if you saw them 38-16 right now instead of 29-25, you wouldn't have been shocked.
Right.
Like that would have been like, oh, okay, this team really did take the next step you expected them to.
They've got the pieces. They've got a lot of young talent. The coaching there seemed good in general. They even look good in the playoffs. Like Franz has had his moments where he didn't look great. Franz had his moments actually where he's played big. Paulo's had a few big games in the playoffs. It's there. You're going to hear a lot this offseason about should they move off of one of them. I don't think they should. I think they should at least stick it out for one more year, if not more. But man, you've got a guy like Jalen Suggs there who's like guard Draymond Green for me. He does all the little things. He kind of picks the team up. He's kind of the emotional leader of that team. Then
Yes.
you got Anthony Black emerging, who's a young point guard on top of all the young talent they have, on top of
Mhm.
all the defensive talent they have, on top of the Desmond Bain trade they made. It
Yep.
doesn't make sense that they're here. Again, there's
It
going to be a
doesn't.
lot of talk about them this offseason and what moves they should make. I think they should at least give this one more year because there's just a lot there, and I don't understand it.
They have both of them extended through 2030. So like there's not, and then there's really no need for that currently. So I don't know why they would not just keep them for another year, because like you didn't get an accurate read on this year because of the health issues. So you don't know if this core doesn't work with Desmond Bain. You don't know. And obviously, I don't. Is Franz out for the year? I couldn't remember
My
how long
guess is
he's out
it,
for.
it says indefinitely. My guess is it'll be the year. My guess is
Yeah,
they're
like I
gonna.
couldn't. I. Uh-huh.
My guess is like if it goes bad, they shut him down and they maybe try to try to get out of the lottery. I don't know, or try to get out of the play-in. I don't really know.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's tough with them.
Yeah.
It's very tough
Yeah.
with them because you're right about the injuries, and that's the glass half full side. You're right about the injuries
Yes.
and saying, okay, how can you really find your rhythm if Paolo's out X amount of games, if Franz is out X
Mm-hmm.
amount of games, if Suggs is out X amount of games? How can you really find the rhythm? My thing is
Yep.
when you are together, it should click. It's not like this team has those three in particular. It's not like those guys haven't played a lot of games together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like this is Desmond Bain not necessarily working out with him. Desmond Bain's been there the whole time and he's been playing well, right? If it was
Yep.
those two not meshing with Desmond Bain, then okay, I get it. But it's been when all these guys are together, it still hasn't looked the same. And their strength should have been their defense, which should build their offense in theory. And we just haven't seen that. It's been since the beginning when those guys were healthy at the beginning of this
Yeah.
season. It's just been rocky, and I don't understand that. So I don't know.
I'm fine with them being here because you also could have. I'm fine with them being on the same tier as the Warriors because I think team wise they're there. You could have a different name for it too, like for that specific team, because you could be like whatever you want to do. But I would say they're trending down because their trajectory was being where the Celtics, where the Knicks are this season, and they're clearly not there.
Next tier, one team. It's trending up. Can you guess who it is? Care to guess who it is? It
Hornets.
is the Charlotte Hornets. Um, for once in about, I don't know, man, since Dwayne Wade was talking to the backpack dude in the playoffs, probably the first time since then that the Hornets have looked like a competent team since the Kemba Walker era.
Mm-hmm.
They've put it together. They're the 10 seed currently, but
Yep.
I don't know if they played last night. I don't know the result of last night, but coming out of the break, they had won. They were 9-1 in their last 10.
Yep.
Real quick
They
here.
lost a tough one to Cleveland last night.
Okay.
Wait, not Cleveland. Hold on. They lost to somebody last night, but go on. I'll figure that out.
Yeah, this team.
Houston. It was a tough to Houston. Sorry. 105-101. They lost to Houston late. That's right.
I have a question, Keen. Before we actually talk about how this team's doing,
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball got in a
Yep.
car accident where he fled the scene, jumped in another car. I don't know if you've seen Keenan. Have you seen his driving clips online? Because Steven sent me, shouts to Steven Reboyne, by the way.
Steve.
Esteban Ramos.
The longtime guy who it's a dream pod visit.
We
from
need
him
him
and Nate
on. We need him
Kennison.
on. We need him on.
It's a dream pod visit.
We
from
almost had him
Steven and
last
Nate
year. We
Kennison.
almost had him last year. It didn't happen.
Those are the two guys that are dream pod visits that we just haven't got.
Who'd you say, Steven and who?
Nate Kennison.
We'll have Nate on soon. We will have
We'll
Nate
have
on.
no, but I'm just saying, like, dream pod guys would be those two for our friends. Like, absolutely.
We will absolutely have Nate on. Steven had sent me in LaMelo's rookie year, which is what, 5 years ago now, let's say?
4 to 5 years, yeah.
He had sent me clips of LaMelo like leaving the Charlotte Hornets arena, ignoring a red light, and just making very critical, and I do mean critical mistakes driving, decisions rather than mistakes, because these are just, and it genuinely seems like this guy does not know how to drive. Like, it genuinely seems like this guy should not have a driver's license. I'm not even being funny. Like, this guy, and it's proven today. Like, when I found out he'd gotten in an accident, I was like, how has it been this long? Right? Like, how has it been this long? But it got me to thinking, because then I saw last night he had that interview or the press conference where he walked out of it and he had his shorts sagging all the way down. That was the most puzzling thing rather than him walking out to me, honestly. But I was thinking, I was like, instead of Harden for the Cavaliers, what if they would have traded Darius Garland to the Charlotte Hornets for LaMelo Ball? How would you have looked at that trade for the Hornets and for the Cavs? First, for the Hornets, though, do you think, because they're both often injured point guards, Garland's probably the more mature guy, I'm going to say, as far as like a locker room guy. How would you have felt from the Charlotte Hornets side of things?
I wouldn't have loved it because, yes, you get more serious at the guard position, but I feel if you're going to trade LaMelo, you should probably, I guess, a different archetype, I guess, from the guard. I don't know. I just feel like they have enough wings on that team and kind of guards on that team that they could supplement that. I would have gotten just, I guess, a different kind of player, but I do think Garland would benefit that team a little bit just because I think the maturity of wanting to get to the playoffs is there, even though I actually think player for player, LaMelo offers more.
That might be so.
So, like, I think
what do you think they're actually losing though with LaMelo? If you get Garland, how much are you actually losing?
See that's why I'm saying I don't think you're losing really anything. But like if you're like we talked about Kawhi and Kevin Durant, like in a vacuum, who's the better player? It'd be LaMelo. But like, what are you really losing? You're getting you're losing the ceiling. But I guess you are keeping, but the floor is probably higher.
And then if you're the Cavs, if you're getting LaMelo and you're saying, okay, we're going for a championship, we just gave up on this young guard for now this talented young guard who's often injured. How would you feel about that? If you're like, okay, this team has championship aspirations, would you feel better or worse with LaMelo Ball replacing Darius Garland?
Because of how Darius Garland has played in the playoffs, he hasn't been the greatest of performers. I would say the same. Because you would have, I feel like LaMelo is not afraid of a spotlight. I don't know how he's going to play in the big game, but like he just had never seemed to be, oh, I'm going to shy away from being who I am in the spotlight. And his ceiling is higher, as I just said, but also the floor, it's not great. That means you're getting high turnover, inefficient shooting, in lackluster defense. Like that's not a championship caliber when you're going against a Boston Celtic team and he's having to match wits with even Peyton Pritchard, who's going to just go out there and give you high quality, high IQ minutes. So I think it would be kind of a wash and a move that wouldn't really move me as a team. I just think their ceiling would be a touch higher, but I also think their floor would be pretty identical. So you'd want a guy who can at least raise the floor and even have like a higher ceiling. So I don't know how I'd feel about it on both sides.
Yeah, I asked that because, this Hornets team is emerging. And for them, let's say they make the playoffs via the play-in this year. However they get into the playoffs. And I think they would actually be served better to make it than the Magic. I think I'd rather see the Hornets in the playoffs than the Magic at this point, right?
Yes.
So you got LaMelo there. You're in the middle of his most successful stretch, excuse me. And I think they made the play-in actually his rookie year, maybe. Didn't he make the play-in one
They
year?
were close to it. Or yeah, I think they made the playoff his rookie year, second year, one of the 2 years. He's played in the play-in.
So let's say for sure the most successful stretch of his career, and he's out there playing real life GTA.
He's not serious. That's the problem.
What do we make of him? I just don't know what to make of him because the talent's obviously there, but you talk about hypotheticals with KD and Kawhi, like a healthy Lonzo. I think I would take a healthy Lonzo all day. Maybe not this version, but the one that was on the Lakers.
Peak Lonzo, I would take over peak LaMelo, even though LaMelo is a better, like a more talented basketball player. But I am if Lonzo was on this Hornets team, I would feel better about it. Peak Lonzo. Because I know I'm getting a high-level shooter, a high-level defender, and a high-level playmaker who is mature. Mm-hmm. And so that I would feel more confident because he might not get you 19, 5, and 7 like LaMelo is right now, but he'd get you 14, 6, and 8. And you have Khan, who's playing well. You have Brandon Miller, who has been playing well. You have Miles Bridges, who's good. Colin Sexton off the bench. So, like, they would be a better suited team to at least win. So, like, you're talking about hypotheticals. Like, James Harden on this team, I would feel much, even though how I feel about how James Harden's going to play in big games, I would feel much better about them getting to the playoffs and at least getting into series with James Harden than I would with LaMelo. And I say that because obviously Harden was traded for Garland, and you mentioned
Yeah.
Garland.
And that's why I think like if they hypothetically we just insert Darius Garland, even with his injury history, I think I like them better. Because what are we to expect of this team with LaMelo at the helm? Like, he is the point guard. He is the quarterback. They will be surging. They will be a team that all of us are picking for the playoffs next year, regardless of how this team finishes out. Like,
I would.
they look like it. They've got a great young nucleus. They've got a good head coach. This should be a team on the rise. And with that comes more national TV games. And then you're going to get more LaMelo Ball questions. So I don't know what this.
I love LaMelo. Like, I wish he would just, like, if you could just put like a maturity serum in him and like he could just grow up, like he'd be perfect. But
And he's injured on top of that.
He's not. I'm not gonna lie, with how Khan's been playing this year, where I'm like, oh, we went from a guy who I thought, like, going into the draft, I was like, this guy could be good. I think he can be really good, and he has like borderline all-star level, to now where I'm looking like, be shocked if he doesn't make a few. Like, not that he's going to be a perennial NBA guy, but like, I'll be shocked he doesn't make a couple all-stars, because like, he is nice and he cares. So I don't even know what team would fit LaMelo, but I'd try to shop him. Really, I really would. And I'd try to care and get more mature over the offseason. I really would. I just don't know where you would, like, what team would take him. Like, we're looking at it right now, but that would actually have something that you could gain and feel comfortable gaining. Because, like, he feels like he should be on a team like Brooklyn. It's just like, eh. And I would have said the Wizards, but they just traded for Trae Young. Like, a team like that where it's like, go LaMelo, go there and just put up. Because like, the Hornets were that team. He fits Charlotte. He wants to be cheating. He fits Charlotte. It's just the fact that now it's like, maybe LaMelo for Ja. Who says no?
That would be interesting. I think the Grizzlies would say no, honestly. I really do.
I think, yeah, you would think so, but see, I just don't know what team would really go out there and feel like they're Like, maybe the Bulls would be like, "Hey, we'll trade you Josh Giddey and something for LaMelo."
That would be a great trade for the Hornets. The Hornets would be.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, and then
the Hornets is a 5 seed next year if they got Josh Giddey. No joke.
Like maybe
that's actually a good trade.
And then you get.
I kind of like that trade for the. Not.
I
can't say I like that.
I don't mind
Bulls because you're trading someone who actually.
It's more box office. It's more box office for them.
It does sell tickets.
It sells tickets. You're going to sell tickets, and you're going to. I feel like LaMelo still has a higher ceiling than Giddey, even though Giddey's floor is higher for sure. But I think LaMelo has like a little bit higher of a ceiling. So you could sell to the, like, we got our next star. Kind of Giddey doesn't feel like a star, but he feels like just a really good player kind of thing. Like, we're like star power with LaMelo is there.
He's a basketball fan star. LaMelo is a household name via Kardashian style.
I'm just saying,
once upon a time, the Kardashians of the NBA.
Hey, so I'm just saying, the LaMelo for Josh Giddey. I'm going to put it out there right now. I would be calling Chicago for it.
Maybe Jaden Ivey. I don't know if they would trade Josh Giddey, but I kind of like the idea. I kind of like the premise. 1 second.
Anthony Simons and LaMelo Ball together. I mean, they're going to put up points.
You get points.
You're getting points.
Keenan, next category, next tier. I don't love this tier because it features a current 10 seed in the Portland Trailblazers. But I also don't think, I feel like the Trailblazers are overqualified for every tier below them. And I feel like they're underqualified for this one, but not qualified enough to have their own tier, if that makes sense. This tier is called Quality Playoff Teams. It's the Toronto Raptors, the Phoenix Suns, and the Portland Trailblazers. And the
I
reason
think you could I think you could put Portland in the one next to the Hornets. I was actually going to say that, but then we got talking about LaMelo so much I
yeah.
forgot. I think I would have Portland in the one below, but I get what your premise is. I think Portland's better than Charlotte, but not as good as Phoenix or
Well,
Toronto.
here's the thing. I could have them as at enjoy the ride. They kind of fit there, but again, they're a 10 seed. They're way ahead of
Mhm.
the Jazz and the Mavericks. They can't be in the Chicago Bulls tier. Can't be in the
Nope.
franchise players tier. I could put them in
Nope.
the play-in zone, but they're not a dynasty in there every year like the Hawks and the Heat. They're not trending down, and I can't say they're trending up because I think they've been about the same all year. They've been really good. I think in general, this whole
Mhm.
year they've been trending up, whereas the Hornets currently are trending up. So I got them
Yes.
under quality
I
playoff
wouldn't
teams.
mind them in trending up. I wouldn't mind
Fair
that.
enough. Fair enough. That's really fair. The reason why I put them in quality playoff teams is because I think if they were to get into the playoffs, if they were to land that 8 seed, I think they'd put up a good fight. I think they'd be quality, right? So that's kind of my reasoning. Maybe I could just put them in trending up. We'll see. We'll come to a conclusion at the end of this podcast. How do you feel though about the
Mhm.
Raptors, the Suns, and the Blazers?
Obviously, I just spoke on the Blazers. I think that they're between this and the Hornets. Like you have them here, so it's not the end of the world. I'm not like enraged that you have the Blazers here. I think they're good, and I think Denny. If you wanted to have star like Denny's
I love
nice.
Danny.
So yeah, I was gonna say Denny is nice. So I really like that. The Suns are playing better than I thought they were going to this year. I thought they were going to be trending more towards a 9 or 10 seed this year, but they're a 7 seed and a legitimate 7 seed. They play tough. I watched them last night when they played against the Spurs. I know they had no Dylan Brooks because of the 16 technicals, and Booker went out after only playing 9 minutes. But the team plays tough. They've got depth, got some young players that have been playing well, and the Raptors are finally, it feels like almost. It just feels like they've been flirting with young talent for so long. It's like around Scotty Barnes and just haven't been able to put it together.
I would say
And then
that. I would say
finally,
put it
like,
together. I mean,
go,
I think they're just
sorry,
very
I wouldn't
young.
say, sorry, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say put it together. You're right. They've been flirting with young talent, and this year they're ascending to where their young talent is starting to take. I just feel like they finally hit that ascension. Like they had RJ Barrett, they got RJ Barrett there a couple years back. They got Brandon Ingram to go along with Scotty Barnes, Isaiah quickly, Emmanuel quickly. I don't want to say Isaiah quickly, but yeah, they just got some young players now, and they're officially like getting there. So I like Toronto. I think they play well. They play tough, and I think they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs and a team that has a real home court
Mm-hmm.
too. So
That's true. I can't wait to see the Raptors and the Suns in a series. I don't necessarily think they're
mhm.
each of them are second round teams. They might just be one and done, but I can't wait to see
Yep,
what this actual product looks like. Suns having that toughness with Dylan Brooks that they did not have in the short-lived KD era. Um,
yeah,
so that along with their young pieces, along with Devin Booker, who's a legit like can go get you several buckets in the playoffs. I can't wait to see what that looks like. I think they can put I want to say the fear of
mm,
God in some teams, but they can get you to 6. And they might even get be able to
they
get you to
could.
7 and they might be able to pull it out. I want to see it.
They're right now lined up to play the Spurs, and as a guy who's watched about all Spurs games this year, the Suns are 2-1 against them, and the Suns would give them a very tough series. That would be I would feel I'd be really confident if the Spurs got that out in 5. I think that's a 6-game series, really I do. Cuz again, the different like Brandon Ingram's really good and Scotty Barnes really good, but like Devin Booker is really, really good. Like Devin Booker is special. So like he is a guy who can go out there and really put up numbers. Compare like Brandon Ingram can too. Like he's a scorer, but not. He's not 70.
And the Raptors
One Devin Booker's 70.
the Raptors have this weird team. You said it, right? They finally put together the young talent, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it all centered cuz I didn't think
Yeah.
they were going to be. I thought maybe a play-in team, but they've got a real
Yeah.
head coach. As you said, they got a real home
Yep.
court advantage. But not only they're young, but their vet guys are like kind of proven kind of young, and RJ Barrett and
Uh-huh.
Brandon Ingram. And then they've got a cool style of play. They got a lot of length on their team. Enough to
They
give
do.
people problems and enough shot makers to, in theory, if the shots are going in, to compete night in, night out. So I really can't wait to see the Raptors in April. The Suns, I can't wait to see Dylan Brooks specifically in April. And then the Blazers, if we're talking,
I would
go ahead.
I would love, like, it won't happen, but I would love to see Dylan Brooks in a 7-game series against LeBron. Like, he would go nuts.
He might get LeBron to
Like,
attack him. He might get LeBron to attack him. Lance
like,
tried. Dylan
like
might
that.
get there. Dylan Brooks might get there.
Oh man, like that. It would take a lot because like the Suns would either have to move up to like the 5 seed and the Lakers to the 4, or the Lakers would have to go all the way to the 2, which neither's happens. Like it's not gonna happen. But man, would that be fun to watch? It's just Dylan Brooks trying to do his Lance Stevenson 2.0 for LeBron, blow in his ear and random things like that. Punch his kidney, probably.
All right, we're getting to the real good tiers right here. This is where we might have some dissension. One team in this next tier, I will let you guess the team. The tier is called tug-of-war. Putting some real thought into
We're
this.
gonna go with the Lakers, but
Ding,
I was
ding,
thinking the
ding.
Knicks. But the Lakers.
Who was your other team? Excuse me.
The Knicks was the other team that I was thinking of.
No, it is the Los Angeles Lakers, and they're technically a contender, but are they really? They can't guard anybody. They employ DeAndre Ayton, but they also employ LeBron James and Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, and they have a real coach in JJ Redick. And they can put as many points as they want up on you. Despite some shooting woes, they're not necessarily, they're not going to spread you out and shoot you out, but they can get threes off the dribble. They can still create those threes via Luka and Austin Reeves, especially. Much like last year, Keenan, they're going to be a fascinating team just to watch in the playoffs. But again, they cannot guard anybody. They could probably beat anybody, technically, literally beat, like for a game or two, they can probably beat you. I don't know how many teams they're beating in the playoffs. That being said, also don't know how many teams they're not, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they could squeeze out a series if everything went perfectly. How do you feel about this team now that we're 3/4 through the season, damn near? How do you feel about this team?
I would be absolutely dumbfounded if they made it to the finals, but it would not shock me at all if they made it to round 2.
Yes.
They could beat someone in round 1, but if you said the Lakers got to the finals, that means Luka averaged 40, and LeBron put up a 20-point triple.
That sicko might
like that. That's what would have to happen. Genuinely, I think the Lakers are going to be. If they're going to win a series, they have to play a team that can't really. That doesn't have creators, and that's not great defensively. The problem is all 5 teams around them have creators and can play defense. So I realistically just don't see them beating. They could beat possibly like maybe the Spurs off experience, but even then, they're not keeping De'Aaron Fox from the basket. And what are they doing with Wemby?
Nothing.
And what are they doing with even Dylan Harper or Castle? Like they're just not doing anything with them. And Ant's a creator, and that Timberwolves team can like. The thing about the playoffs is at some point you have to learn. You got to get stops. Like that is every team in multiple stops. And that's one thing that a bunch of these teams, the Thunder last year, the Bucks when they won, the Warriors when they won, the Nuggets when they won, even the Lakers when they won back in the bubble, they could get stops because you had an athletic LeBron and Anthony Davis then. They can't get stops. So at this point in time, like when your 3 best players, even 4 if you're counting Ayton, aren't really interested in defense, you can make 6-game series and you can make maybe a 7-game series. It's going to be really difficult to win a series when you're playing against, especially when you're in the Thunder, the Spurs, the Rockets, Denver, and Minnesota, when all of those teams are extremely tough. In the Eastern Conference, they might be able to get something. Not in this West.
Let's start with the fact that you're still counting on DeAndre Ayton as like a top 4 guy. Like that, you already are asking for problems.
Yeah.
I think as it stands right now, they would face the T-Wolves again in the first round, and I think
Right now, they would face the Nuggets,
oh,
unfortunately for them.
okay. Which actually is not a terrible matchup for them.
I'm not gonna lie, that's their best matchup probably out of all of them. Like just because, like, especially with Aaron Gordon right now, not, but like it's probably their best matchup right now out of all of
I
them.
would very
But
obviously favor a fully healthy Nuggets without Aaron Gordon. I do think that's kind of anyone's series. I will
yeah,
say this: let's say it got to be the Timberwolves again, right? Same matchup, first
hmm
round. Austin Reeves has taken enough of a leap to where maybe that's a different series. But again, the T Wolves can flat out get stops. Can flat out
oh
get
man,
stops. And I don't think they're
that
necessarily stopping all three of Reeves, Doncic, and LeBron. And maybe it gets to a point where, okay, they put up so many points, but I think the T Wolves, like we saw last year, they can muck it up enough for at least 4 possessions. And that's the difference in these playoff games. If you can get 4 straight stops, the Timberwolves can do that. The Lakers absolutely cannot do that. And the T Wolves can
they
put
got
up
a
points.
legitimate 8. They got like a legitimate true 8 for the Timberwolves, which makes them like Desumu, them picking up, like, that's a good pickup. He's gonna play
Great pickup.
defense for them. He's gonna be physical. He can play. He can even put the ball in the basket. Like, that's a good pickup for them.
Real,
He's been averaging 15 a game this
real
year.
quick before
So
we move on to the next tier.
yeah,
Wolves Lakers play right now. 7-game series. What are you calling it?
4-1
Oof.
Timberwolves, maybe
Again, 5.
4-2.
Did
Yeah,
they sweep them last year or was it 5? It was one of the two.
I
They might have
want to
got
say
one.
a
It might have been
sweep.
I think it was a
I think
sweep.
they might
I think it
have.
was a sweep. All right, so Lakers, Nuggets. Nuggets don't have Aaron Gordon right now. Let's say it's the same roster they got right now. Lakers, Nuggets. Who you taking?
Nuggets in 6.
Mm.
But that game
You
that
can get it.
could
You can
get
get
to
them to
7.
7, really, because the Nuggets aren't really
They
playing defense right
could.
now.
No, that's why it could get to 7. Because if you're saying, hey, we're having a track meet, the Lakers can win a track meet. It's like that NFL team that can win a 42-38 game, but if it has to be 24-17, they're not doing it.
All right, Keenan.
So
In true basketball fashion, we're running at an hour 17 right here. Let's try to get it to an hour 30. Let's see if we can do some basketball shit and like beat the buzzer right here. All right. We got one,
okay,
2, 3, 4, 5, technically 6 tiers left. And this is really the
oof,
meat of it. So I actually don't think we can do it. In the spirit of competition, I'm actually not confident we can do it, but let's see. Um, Next
let
tier is
go.
called the sleepers. And there's actually only one team in this category, Keenan. I'll let you guess again.
Celtics, or do you think they're higher? Because that was the team I would guess, but I would actually have them higher.
It's
So
really
I
good.
would have the
It's really
Knicks.
good. The Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, I forgot about Philly. Yeah, I love it. Love it, love it,
I
love it.
cannot wait.
Because I think the Knicks are probably better than a sleeper. The Celtics to me are better than a sleeper, especially with Tatum coming back at
And
some
we'll
point.
get to it. We'll get to it.
No, I'm just saying.
This
So
is my favorite part of the tiers list right here because
yeah, no, the Sixers, oh boy. And the thing about it is, Embiid now for sure solidified does not have to be the best player for them to win
and he's
games.
playing.
He needs to just be. Yeah, he is
He's
playing
playing. He's
really
playing
well.
well.
He's playing really well. But Paul George is a problem. If he actually can play,
Short.
if Paul George
Talking
actually
about
can
Perk P. Talking about
not
Percocet
really a
P.
problem. No, Paul George. Honestly, you really just hope we can get threes out of him. But no, genuinely, if VJ Edgecombe, if I'm being serious, VJ Edgecombe talent. I like VJ Edgecombe a lot. Paul George. Hopefully, you can get some threes out of him and maybe get some decent defense. And then Tyrese Maxey. Speak of actual problem. My lord,
My guy. Tyrese.
Tyrese Maxey's trying to butt his way into the top 10 in the NBA. He's like, hey, move aside, people. Like, he is lethal.
I'm gonna be quick here.
Yep.
Former MVP, real player in Joel Embiid, checkered past, obviously, checkered injury history, is playing well, as you said. Paul George got pinched for we don't know actually what the steroid or non-steroid was. He's out for 25 games.
Pushing P.
He will be back right before the playoffs, and he was playing decent enough. Not worth his contract, but decent enough. Maxey
He's playing solid.
might be first team All NBA. Edgecombe doing his thing. They're a deep team. They're a real team. They got a real coach, and they've got real postseason ghosts. I cannot wait
And then
to see this.
a guy like Kelly Oubre is just a solid playoff performer who is not afraid of a moment. Campaign is just not afraid of a moment. Quentin Grimes. So yeah, Drummond being that. So yeah, no, this team's a little nice.
This next tier, Keenan, I think it's going to be obvious. And then after that, I think there would be some fan bases that would want to physically fight me. Spiraling contenders, one team, and I think you can guess this team.
The New York Knicks.
No, the Houston Rockets.
No, it's not. No, it's Houston. Oh, you have them spiral. Oh, okay. I would actually have the Knicks here too.
Knicks are like 9-1 in their last 10.
So the thing is, they've been playing well as of late, but I guess I would have the Knicks on the same level as the Rockets, but I wouldn't have them, I guess, in a spiraling contender.
We will get to the Knicks. We will get to the Knicks, and we will get to what my original tiers list looked like a couple nights ago. I might have done the Knicks a little bit of solid because I'm kind of with you on the Knicks. But let's get to the Rockets first. I'll give you my reasoning, and then you can respond, all right? They lost Steven Adams, which in most cases you'd be like, all right, that's just Steven Adams. But I actually thought he was kind of what put this team over the edge. I think it's what made the team kind of special, if there was any sort of specialness to this team.
It made them very unique because they could go double big and actually legitimately go a double big.
Yeah, go double big and then go at your wings, go double big somehow with Jabari and KD.
Yeah.
Now without Steven Adams, not only do you lose size, but you lose playoff experience. So now you turn into a young team with KD who's already missing their starting point guard. If they got Fred VanVleet, or if they would have made a deal at the deadline, maybe I feel a little bit different. They did not. Yeah. I love their coach. I love Ime. I love KD. Despite if it sounded like I was shitting on KD earlier, KD's one of my all-time favorite players. Love KD. Love his game. Don't love this team as much. That being said, KD went and balled out last night. They went and won a close game last night. There's still going to be a problem in the postseason. And here's the thing about all this, Keen. Here's the thing about my tiers. If we just took the decade, the 2020s, the regular season means not anything. And you can kind of say, like we say it in the NFL, like the jump between the regular season and the postseason, there's a difference there. But man, in the NBA, it's different. Like the regular season,
it's not close. It's really night and day. The NFL, at least week 13 to 17, you start getting a lot of that playoff feel.
Correct.
It takes it's honestly night and day, even from like the last weeks of the season.
Because now it's supposed to be like mini playoff time, and you still get those games that kind of feel that way. You do,
yeah.
But the regular season does not correlate the way it used to the postseason, and maybe it never did. Maybe I'm just an old man and my memory's gone. But like now, it doesn't even matter what the regular season record is. Like you could still get waxed, and of course, we talk about all the time load management with the Stars. What do you think of their playoff prospects?
I like them. I don't love them.
Because I thought they were a legit contender before.
They're a team that I think their peak this year's conference finals. I'd be a little surprised, but it wouldn't be like dumbfounding like I would be for the Lakers to get to the finals. I think they're good. I think they're going to be a tough series for whomever they play. But I also don't love their experience either, because really they really have just first round experience. Take out KD. So like, and then I mean, you guess Clint Capella and Jeff Green, Dorian Finn, like so, like those guys, like they're 7th to 10th. They have more of the experience, so I guess those could help out. But I mean, like they had a tough series last year against the Warriors, so maybe that helps them out. But I just feel like there's not enough shot creation on this team on the wings, which really makes it difficult. Because like Reed Shepherd really can't get his own shot consistently. Amen Thompson, he can get to the basket, but he is not the greatest of shooters. Clearly,
he can't go and get you 25 yet.
No, he is not there quite yet. He can get a 25 in a series because of his athleticism alone. But, like, he's not going to consistently be like, we need 28 out of you tonight, and he's just going to go confidently get it. Really, the only guy is KD. But if they can keep all these games close, that's why you brought in KD. Because he is the guy that doesn't matter the matchup, doesn't matter the player, doesn't matter the situation. He's one of the only players I've ever seen who I'm not sure if he's ever taken a bad shot. Just haven't seen. It just seems like even when he's like draped all over him, it's just like, okay, I still got a clean look up. So that's why you got KD.
Interested to see if this Twitter, whatever the hell it is with KD, if it actually blows into something, because that could affect the locker room. And KD has definitely affected the last 2 locker rooms he's played in. Probably the last 3 locker rooms he's played in, to be honest with you. Warriors, Nets,
because
and
he
Suns.
Yeah.
Next here, Keenan, we have 4.5 minutes before my time elapses. I do not think we're gonna beat the clock. I do not. Technically contenders. 2 teams, Keenan. Please guess the teams.
Technically contenders.
The record would say they're contenders. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm also.
You said you were generous to the Knicks, so I keep guessing the Knicks. I'm gonna guess them one more time.
Knicks and
the Celtics. Or do you have higher?
Locking the Celtics in?
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna lock them in.
You're correct. Boston Celtics. Detroit basketball. I got the Pistons there, the current 1 seed of the East.
Ooh, okay. You have the Celtics and the Pistons. I'm higher on the Pistons than you are.
All right.
I guess because I think Cade is like a problem.
I agree.
Okay, like and I'm not saying you don't, but like he's a guy who I'm very confident in, even though he's young. I'm very confident that he's gonna be one of them.
I agree.
When it comes,
tell me more about the Pistons.
So I like their grit. I like their toughness. They have athleticism. They have depth. They have high-end talent. I think the only thing they don't have is a lot of playoff experience. They do have Duncan Robinson, who has been to a finals. Tobias Harris has been in playoff series before. Karis LeVert as well. They don't have a bunch of experience. So that would be the one thing where you would lean and be like, I don't know. But at the same time, I think this team is gelled and put together like very well. Like they constructed perfectly around Cade. You've got shooters, you've got athleticism, you've got a great pick and roll man who can also do a little bit more in Jalen Duren. So I just think that this team is going to be an extremely tough out. And I think this team honestly could have gotten to the second round if the Tim Hardaway Jr. in the corner last year. Like I think I give him a shot in Game 7. It's like I understand the Knicks are really good, but I give them a shot in Game 7.
They're very clearly
I just think that
matchup for the Knicks too. They thrashed the Knicks last year.
I don't think they're like higher, like confidently higher than anybody in the Eastern Conference right now, and you can take that youth into it. I just don't think, because we don't know what Tatum's going to look. We'll talk about that more, but we don't know what Tatum's going to fully look like, which is why I'm fine with they're here. And then the James Harden factor, and then the Cleveland Cavaliers being a little bit, they're on the rise more so than they were early on. But like, I don't think there's any team where I'd confidently say they're better than the Pistons. So I think I would have, honestly, the Knicks 1 tier below and all 3 other Eastern Conference teams together. Like how I'd personally have it. Because I really think the Celtics, they've been there, they've done that, they've got a lot of experience. And if Jason Tatum can give them anything, because they're in this tier, I'll talk about them a little bit. I think if Jason Tatum can give them quality anything, that's going to make this a very difficult team to beat in the playoffs. And then the same with the Pistons, we just talked about them. I'll save the other 2 for a little bit.
First, I'll respond to the Pistons because you talked about them the most. I agree with every single thing you said. Don't disagree with one thing you said. Not one. I agree with 100% of what you said. I will then ask you these questions, Keenan. You just answer yes or no. Would you be surprised, Keenan, if the Celtics beat the Pistons in a 7-game series?
Surprised? No.
Would you be surprised if the Knicks beat them in a 7-game series?
Surprised?
Just beat them last year.
I think that they're better than they were last year, and I think that the Knicks are a touch worse than they are last year. So surprise, no, but I would not predict it.
Could you see it, though? You could see a world where 2 teams...
Yeah, surprise, no, but I wouldn't predict it going.
Cavs? Could you see the Cavs beating them?
Could see it. Yes. Predict it? Probably not. So, which is why, again, I would have the Cavs.
Could you see?
the Celtics.
Could you see Philly beating them?
I don't trust Embiid for 7.
Trust
so
is fine.
No. But
Trust
if
is
you're
fine. But
telling,
I'm saying, like, if you woke up, missed the games, and you woke up and it's the Celtics over the Pistons, Sixers, would you be absolutely just shocked? Like mind blown shocked?
shot? No, but again, if you put every other team in that position, I would agree with all of them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, reverse of that. They beaten the Thunder in a 7-game series.
Oh, I don't think anybody in the I'm just
Pistons,
saying in the Thunder.
Pistons. They beat the Thunder in a 7-game
Thunder,
series.
I wouldn't have them over the Thunder.
They beat the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series.
I would favor Jokic, even though is Aaron Gordon healthy?
Yes.
Because I think that matters. Just because we were talking about it earlier, I'd favor the Nuggets then.
I'm just saying, like, I would be shocked if the Pistons won the NBA championship this year. That's why I have them in technically contenders. For me to put you in the contenders, you got to be able to win the ring this year.
So, to be quite honest with you, there's one team in the Eastern Conference that I would not be shocked if they won it all.
Don't say that team. Don't say that team yet. All right? Hold that thought. Let's go to the Celtics, which, by the way, if you're keeping count at home, me and Keenan are over our allotted time limit. So we're going to keep going here, obviously. Celtics, you already said the reason. Throwing Tatum in is a huge wrench, and I believe by the time we have our first podcast in March, Keenan, that Jason Tatum will have played his first game, and that'll be a topic we're talking about. So. All right? I don't expect him to be an impact player. Therefore, how can I expect you to win with a player who's, playing at maybe 80%? Maybe not 80% health, but 80% rhythm. Probably 70% rhythm, if we're being real. And throwing him into the fire of playoff games and late regular season games. So, same premise with the Pistons. Could I actually see the Celtics beating the Thunder or the Nuggets, or the T-Wolves, or any team? It'd be hard. It'd be a task. They've got it there. They've got the talent. And judging by their record, yes, technically they're a contender. Can I see them winning a championship? I cannot.
They're actually the one team that I could picture in the East, and it's really the Tatum factor. It's because if Tatum comes back and he is 85% of Tatum, and say that's 19, 7, and 5, which would be about 80% of Tatum, and still can play, I'll say, B- level defense, because I think at peak he's an A- level defender. I think that's enough to beat most teams.
I'm gonna disagree with that.
That's okay, and that's fine. I don't like.
Here's the thing with Jason Tatum.
I guess I just like if Jaylen Brown's playing at this MVP style level, and then you've got Jason Tatum, who is like a secondary star level. You've got Peyton Pritchard, you have Derek White, you get Vucevic, which is another guy for size. Sam Hauser can shoot. Like I guess this team put together. Do I think they could beat the Thunder specifically at full health? No. I actually think they could beat a Nuggets team. They beat the Nuggets.
I don't know about that. I like the Celtics team a lot. Let me start there. Let's talk about facts though. You got Vucevic, which is not nothing. That's a real player you're going to have to factor in, who's going to be essentially in the Porzingis spot. But two very different players who you're just going to now fit in from February on to the postseason if you got championship aspirations. All right? Then you're bringing back who some would consider a top 5 NBA player who had the worst injury you can get in sports last May.
Yes.
And he's going to come back in March and he's going to try to acclimate himself to the most intense basketball you can possibly acclimate yourself to. That's extremely difficult. It's extremely
100%
difficult.
And 100%. So if you have Tatum's skepticism and that's why you don't have this team here, 100% agree. I'm not 100% agree.
If we're talking next year, I'm all in on this Celtics team. This year,
so no argument from me.
I think it'll be tough. I'm not saying they can't get to the finals. I'm saying it would be extremely tough for them to get to the finals. That's all I'm saying.
So, because in my head, if they get to the finals, it's because Jason Tatum is now playing at such a high, playing at high enough level to where they can. and I think that they can beat a lot of teams if he
It's
is.
a lot to
So
ask.
that's where it is. So it's not like my pick right now, but if you were telling me out of the 5 best teams in the East, whatever team got to the finals, who would have the best chance? Surprisingly, it would be them and the Sixers, because if you said that, that means Embiid's playing really well, Maxi's playing really well, VJ comes doing well, and Paul George is a human. So like they have the star power and like the matchups to match. So like those are the 2 teams that I think if they got to the finals, they would probably match up with the finals teams better, because I think that they have the highest peak, but I also think that they probably have the lowest floor, those 2 teams, out of all the 5 teams that are really here.
Let me just say too, like, real quick before we go on, regarding the Pistons,
Mhm. Yeah.
Cade goes to the bench. Who's really getting shots for you? Last year was Malik
Yeah,
Beasley.
that's where they could use another. Like that's where they could really use
Because I love this
even
team, but
let's
I
like
like if we're being real, like if they haven't,
Karis LeVert better turn back the clock a little
yeah,
bit.
like if
I know he's not even like old, but like old,
you
but
need at
like
least 2
if they
creators in the
got
playoffs. If you only got one,
yeah,
you can
yeah,
get got by any one of these teams. The Knicks could get you. I mean, the Pistons seem to have the Knicks number, whatever, but Knicks, Cavs,
100%.
Sixers, they could get you.
100%.
Sixers got the creators, especially if
Oh
Embiid's
yeah,
healthy.
100%. 100%.
Pistons got the grit though. Pistons got the requisite grit that you need. Keen, we're gonna cheat. We're gonna cheat. All right. And we can cut this part out, but we're gonna cheat. We could make this a 3-parter and put all the contenders into their own episode.
Um, that's up to you. I wouldn't be able to do it for a couple days, but that's up to you.
Couple days.
Yes, so tomorrow I work during the day, plans during the night, and then I have an overnight. So it'd be like sometime early next week. That'd be
Jeez.
my time. So
So like
so
Monday?
that's
What
what I
time
was saying.
Monday?
So I'd have to see my schedule. I don't fully remember off the top of my head, but I can but be Monday or two. It'd be like one of those 2 days. That's why I'm saying if we could. How many teams do we have left?
I mean, probably like 6, but I mean, we still got. We'll get to it. We'll see what this final episode ends up as. We're nearing towards an hour
Mm-hmm.
45, so I really do think we should break it up.
Yeah.
Um, let's move on though. Let's go to the next
Yeah.
tier. Keenan, that was technically contenders. Now I've got 2 teams and surging contenders. If you'd like to take a stab at it, by all means.
I feel that you would put the Cavs and the Spurs here.
Cavs and the Knicks.
Cavs and the Knicks. Okay.
So originally, Keenan, heavy spoiler alert. Technically, contenders consisted of the Celtics, the Pistons, the Knicks, and the Cavs. And maybe for a second, the Rockets, but I felt like they needed their own category. And all the East contenders in technically contenders. Then I felt Knicks won 9 out of their last 10. I don't necessarily believe in the Knicks, but they're on the short list to make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Uh-huh.
Cavs are the only team, Keenan, in the East that I think if everything breaks right, because they're actually healthy, unlike the Celtics with Tatum. Because I do agree with you in theory. If everything was perfect with the Celtics roster, I'd probably pick them to go to the finals, to be honest with you. Especially with how every team in this Eastern Conference has looked, excluding the Pistons. But we just said why the Pistons would lose, and that'd be because they don't have a second option. The Cavs, Keen, if everything broke right, they've got a good bench, they've got a good coach, a really good coach.
Yep.
James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and you could you could almost end the conversation at James Harden because of what he does in games 6 and 7 specifically. But he could get you there. The fact that you got Mobley and Jared Allen, and you can just kind of swing guys at the 3, and you've got the shooting, you've got everything in Cleveland. I feel like they actually have the pieces to actually take down some of these teams in the West. The question is James Harden. And honestly, if you can get to a game 6, Donovan Mitchell is one of those dudes in the playoffs that can just go off for 42. So not only is Cleveland kind of killing it as of the last month and a half, but they made a proper trade. Normally, we've said this on our trade deadline pods and post pods and whatever. We said you wouldn't normally trade a young emerging prospect entering his prime for a guy who's on the outer skirts of his prime in James Harden.
Yep.
But he does seem to fit this team better. He is a true point guard. He plays. He's healthy. You're literally the only criticism we would
Like,
have of James Harden is games 6 and 7, games 5s too, right? Games 5 through
yeah.
7, that's it.
Late game series Harden is not something you can actually count on consistently, but the one thing that you do know is he might not show up, but he'll show up. He'll be on the
He'll
court.
be on the
So
court.
like
He will physically be
the
there.
he will have a better chance than Darius Garland to do better, because sometimes Garland will just not be on the court. So like Harden at least has the opportunity to do well, whether you believe he's going to or not. That's there. So again,
And you would think at some
I don't
point,
even.
maybe one game, like one game. He's got to have one game in him. He did
Yeah.
have it in him at one point. I think it was game 5 against Boston when he was in Philly. Games 5 or 6, he showed up.
In game 1, when they had no one, he had 41 and they won that game. And then in game 5, he had the big shot in the corner to get them up 3-2. And then in game 6, he played bad.
They had the
and
Celtics on the ropes too.
And Jason Tatum got hot late, and they just couldn't hit shots. And then in game 7, Embiid and Harden were back in Philly.
They said
they stayed in Philly. So, yeah.
You've made it pretty clear you don't think the Knicks are a real contender, and I tend to agree with you there. I'll speak on the Knicks briefly. I love the Alvarado trade. You agree with me? Do you agree with me on the Cavs, though? The fact that if everything broke right, technically they could they're probably like the one team with the top end talent that could actually take down a Western Conference team.
They're realistically the only team, because like it's almost feels like a pipe dream ish when you're talking the Celtics and the Sixers, who have the talent, but will it be there? Will Embiid be but like that team remaining healthy would be the team in the East that you'd be like, okay, you could talk yourself into, yeah, they match up. Okay, they can match the Thunder with the two bigs, and they have a guy who can get you 30 on any given night. And if Harden's just at least creating and shooting, you're like, you can talk yourself into it. I just don't have faith in Harden. That's really where it all goes. But like, yes, you can talk yourself into it. Golly, Jokic has 19 points in the first quarter. My goodness. Sorry.
I almost, Keenan, looking at this, you could talk me into a world where I rearrange it and put the Celtics in the sleeper, but that would feel wrong to have them below the Rockets, because the Rockets I have ahead of the sleepers is because of their record, really. Which really, this doesn't go by record, so I could rearrange it however I want. But it would make sense, and I like how I got it, but it would make sense if I had the Celtics in the sleepers, Pistons, maybe Pistons and Knicks and technically contenders, and then have a category all to themselves for the Cavs. I might do that. I might move. I might not do that. I'm going to keep the Celtics where they are. What I might do is move the Knicks down to technically contenders and create their own category for the Cavs, because I feel like they're worthy of that. Because I do feel like something's going on there. I don't feel like they're necessarily going to flame out in the playoffs. I don't see them being a second round exit per se. I'd be pretty surprised.
Pistons are young. Well, I do have faith in the Pistons, but the Pistons are young, and then the other teams, I feel the Knicks, I just don't think they have enough. And then I think the Celtics and the Sixers and those teams, like I think it's just they need too much to break right for them to have them confidently there. But if they were, they're the hypothetical teams, where the Cavs are kind of the realistic reality team. So I would be fine with
it. Quick hypothetical before we move on. Yeah. I just saw this online. I thought it was kind of brilliant. We switched Jalen's for the Knicks and the Celtics. We put Jaylen Brown on the Knicks, Jalen Brunson on the Celtics, without Tatum, how it's been. What do you think the Celtics look like? What do you think the Knicks look like right now? Do the Knicks look any different? Are they still at the forefront of the East? Are the Celtics still at the forefront of the East?
No. I think record-wise, they probably flip. So I think the Knicks are about 5. Knicks are a few games back. I think the Knicks would probably be the second seed And I think the Celtics would probably be like 33-23,
So like a
roughly
5 seed,
around
are we
there.
talking? Like, what are we talking?
I'm saying probably like I think they'd probably flip. So I think the Celtics would be the 4 and the Knicks would be the 2.
So
I
not
just
real
think that
difference
Jaylen
anyway.
Brown's so not like a huge difference, but I think Jaylen Brown's going to offer you
More.
the same right now, the same level scoring that Jalen Brunson's going to give you the way he's been playing this year and more defensive prowess. So I just think that you're going to be able to switch more. I think they're a harder team to plan like an offense against because I think that now everybody on the floor is a defender other than maybe Cat, but even Cat within the paint's not going to be as much of a problem. So I just think they're going to be a more difficult team, and I would have more faith in the Knicks than the Celtics. But the Celtics would still be they would still be good. Like they could still be good.
Moving on.
Yep.
The top tier reigning defending is the Oklahoma City Thunder. We don't really need to talk
Yep.
about them. We can talk about them briefly after. The Contenders, I have 3
Mhm.
teams. You can deduct who they
Mhm.
are. It's the Denver Nuggets, San Antonio Spurs,
Mhm.
Minnesota
Mhm.
Timberwolves. Um,
Surprised you have the Spurs here, but I think they
why are you
deserve it.
surprised?
But I just I was expecting because of their youth, you having them like a touch below. But actually now thinking of you,
I can't put them anywhere
you are
else.
you are such a Wemby guy in the sense of like you thinking he like everyone knows he's an alien, but like you are in the like this guy is like special because I know there's some people who are like he is so good, but he's still young and things, and you're like I don't really care.
I have no worries about him. I have no
You
worries.
know that's what
I
I'm
have no
saying.
worries about either him or De'Aaron Fox when it comes to the playoffs. My
Yep,
questions would be for Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle, specifically in the
yep,
3-point shooting department. Uh,
100%.
thing with Wemby though is you just said it. He's an alien. Like he can make up for so many mistakes. I don't think he's at the point though. And this is where I'd separate them from maybe the T-Wolves and the Nuggets. I don't know if he's at the point though where he can night in, night out consistently make up for the mistakes of other players. By that I mean averaging something like 35 and 14. Can he do it? I know he can do it. Can he do it night to night? We will find out very soon. And, I cannot wait because quiet as kept, he does not play 70 games a season. That's a bit of an issue. That's the only issue you can say about Wemby so
He
far.
played 70 year one, and then last year obviously he had the blood clot, and then like he had the ankle injury, and then he had a little bit of a knee thing for a minute. So like he's been a little in and out this season. He should, if everything goes well, we knock on wood because we hope for it, should hit that 65 game threshold. So he's flirting with all NBA first team, depending on Jokic and how many games it depends on who hits the 65 game threshold. He'll probably end up being a second teamer, but if like Jokic and Shea miss enough games, for Shea probably won't, but Jokic could. He probably could flirt with first team if he hits the games threshold.
Let me ask you this, Keenan. We can
Yeah.
talk about the Thunder. We can talk about all 4 of these teams now.
Yeah.
Rank the Nuggets, Spurs, and Wolves as best chances to beat the Thunder.
To beat the Thunder specifically, I would actually have it all healthy. Probably Spurs, Nuggets, T-Wolves. I really think the guard depth of the Spurs gives legitimate problems to the Thunder. I mean, we saw it within those matchups this year. They're 4-1 against them. The last game, the Thunder sat everybody. Shea was out, Chet was out, J-Dub was out. So like they sat everybody, so that wouldn't take away, but they're 3-1. If you want to say the playoffs are going to be different and that makes you more hesitant, you want to go with these 2 veteran teams that are more tested and proven, I understand. And like that's a fair. But actually, I'm thinking about it too. If you put the Spurs 2, I wouldn't hate it too, because the Timberwolves have given the Thunder problems too. It's the athletic guards that give the Thunder problems because they are physical, but when you can match their physicality, the Thunder guards aren't crazy athletes. They're good athletes, don't get me wrong, obviously. But like they're not crazy athletes. So when you have the physicality to match it, like Castle's physical, Harper is a physical guard, or Timberwolves wise, DiVincenzo's more physical, Ant's physical, Jaden McDaniels. but you're better athletes, you can actually get the better of their guards. Because players like Caruso, who would typically use his intelligence, his size, and strength and understanding of like defense, sometimes can't always match the physical guards or that have real quickness. So that's why I would favor those two teams over Denver, just because I don't think Denver poses that same problem. But Denver also poses a different problem that no one else poses. His name's Nikola Jokic. So like that's the ultimate
How many
problem
points do you have currently?
because last I checked, he had 19 in the first. So his team has 41, and he has 19 on 7 to 12 and 3 or 4 from 3. So
I know
like
we would all
and
want to
Denny
see.
has 6 points and 6 assists. Yeah,
I know we would all want to
over.
see Spurs and Thunder in a series again, but please, God, give me Wemby versus Jokic. Give us that center matchup. We need it. We need it. That will.
You know that.
This term's overused. It'll feed families. No, it'll feed families. I promise you. I think I would have to rank them. I would go Nuggets 1, a fully healthy Nuggets team. I would have 1.
I see, and again, I have him third, but I get it.
Third.
I'm more matchup dependent.
This is the best.
Yeah,
you
because
could
I
argue
had
it's the best team Jokic has ever had, and it's Jokic.
Yeah. So that again,
He's like if you
I
mix Larry
get, but
Bird
I
and
don't even
Tim
think
Duncan
that's like
together.
but I don't even think that's like a. I guess I just value what the matchup more with the Timberwolves and the guards, what they poise. But again, as I said, they have the great equalizer, which his name is Nikola Jokic. So, yeah.
I think I would go Nuggets, and then you could talk me either way about the Spurs or the Wolves. I still think the Spurs are going to have these hiccups with their young guys. It just
fair.
We've never seen it outside of really the Thunder, the OKs, the Durant, Westbrook, Harden.
Yeah.
You got to have your
And the
hiccups at some point.
77 Blazers.
What's that?
If you go back, if you go back and hit, it's the 77 Blazers.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
They were 37 and 45, and then they had a lot, like their top 4 scorers were all 24 or younger, and they ended up winning it all. So like if you have to go back to 77, it makes it a little tough.
And Wemby is that dude. Wemby is what Bill Walton would be in 77. Add 7 inches to that. Pause. Yeah. But for real, add 7 inches to that. And then add 3-point shooting to that. So, we mentioned Jokic being the great equalizer. Wemby himself is a great equalizer. We got to see if he stays healthy. Again, I'm very interested in Stephon Castle in particular on how he does in the postseason.
Castle's the true X factor. Like Dylan Harper, if you can get like play out of him, it's okay. That makes that bench unit dangerous. Devin Vassell's been pretty consistent this year as a shooter. He would need to be a high-level shooter in those series. But Castle's the guy who has real all-NBA potential. And if he plays at an all-NBA level like he was at the beginning of the year, and he actually has been playing closer to that towards this last like 2 weeks-ish, take out the All-Star break, of course. If he can play at that level, then you have 3 guys who can play at that level in the court at any time, and that makes this team extremely dangerous to where the experience might not matter. So I think you're right. Stephon Castle specifically will make or break the Spurs maybe going on a deep playoff run or losing first round. Because I think Wemby, not worried. And De'Aaron Fox, I'm not worried. Really not. Like he's a veteran who's played in multiple playoffs. Like I'm not actually worried about De'Aaron Fox. It really comes down to, can Stephon Castle be all he has potential in a playoff series?
They have good young depth too with Keldon Johnson. And you got Barnes there too, who's steady. It's another one I'm interested in though. What does Keldon look like? Who is like beloved by the Spurs, I know, but what's that going to look like in the playoffs? Like, because he's got his own game. I don't know if he's a knockdown shooter at this point in his career, but like he's gonna
knockdown, no, but he's been consistent this season.
Right? Like he's effective, but so those would be my questions specific with the young guys. T-Wolves, I mean, they've been lurking now for 3 straight seasons where it's like they can beat anybody. They got the defense to beat anybody. They got the guy to beat anybody. Now they got the point guard creator that they needed who can get buckets, who's got good size. DiVincenzo's got size. Like you said, he's a physical defender. They match up very well with every one of these teams. And the Timberwolves specifically are built to beat the Thunder, as are the Nuggets. Now, the Nuggets, again, we mentioned Jokic. Murray has had real postseason success. He's had tough shooting woes in the playoffs as well, but he's also been a real guy in the playoffs. Aaron Gordon
Yep.
emerged in last year's playoffs as well as last season,
Goodness.
but a lingering calf
Special.
injury that kept him out or severely hindered him in game 7 last year. It's lingering.
Yep.
But Nuggets, do they have a bench? Yes. Can they defend? Fully healthy? Yes. Can they shoot?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have the best player on planet Earth right now? Yes. I mean,
No. I'm joking.
let me remind you though with Jokic. Let me remind you with Jokic before we, this guy had Serbia playing with our friggin' gods in the US of A in the Olympics, neck for neck.
Yes.
Like literally tie
Yes.
game. And these were not Jamal Murray and Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown and the rest of them.
And to that point, I just want to say, Wemby had France real close to.
The refs did too.
The refs did, not the fear of God and like that. Wemby had him close, and then Steph happened. Steph had so
the refs had something to do with that too. But I got you. But it wasn't quite.
In fairness to that, but no, it wasn't the same.
France got some NBA players too. France got some NBA players too.
No. I just was more so making the comparison of the fact that like Wemby is that dude too, but Jokic is Jokic is special. He's in his own category.
We really do have to go here. We really do have to go. But let me ask you: if you would have asked us, if I would have asked you 2 months ago, and we did ask this question 2 months ago, like we're talking about the Thunder beating the Warriors record. That's obviously out of the question now. But give me the percentage chance that the Thunder lose. Just do not win the championship.
They don't win the championship. This is gonna sound like bad, but I would say like 75% that they lose it. But like
out.
But like
okay, that's a.
But like I mean, but I think that they would be
25% chance.
25% chance. But like I also think that would be their high. I think I'd put them highest out of anybody because like I would put like the Nuggets maybe at like 18, and then like percentage wise, I'd put them at probably like 25, just because I really think it's going to be. So just say it's the Warriors in the first round. I think they get them out of there, but also the Warriors are a smart team. What if they make it a 6-game series because Steph is great? Could just give them some games. Or Phoenix, who could make it maybe tough with Devin Booker. Okay. Then the second series, you see the Nuggets. And you have to play Nuggets in the second round. And then you see a Spurs team or a Timberwolves team that's been giving you problems all season. And then you go against a Cavs team that matches up with you well. That's just a very tough road to say, hey, you're going to do all of that. Coming off, and we haven't seen even a champion get back to the conference finals in 7 years. Now saying you're just going to go repeat when I thought early in the season, I was like, do we even care about the season? Now we've seen things unfold. 25% chance, but they would be my favorites. So I think this playoff run's going to be great.
I agree.
I could not tell you who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference at all. And I actually couldn't tell you who's coming out of the West because I legitimately think there are 4 teams on each side that you could thoroughly convince me, and I wouldn't actually be shocked if they got there. And the Pistons, Celtics, Cavs, and Knicks with the Sixers looming. And then, honestly, 5 in the Thunder, Spurs, Rockets, Nuggets, and Timberwolves. Then that would be it. Because if the Lakers got there, I guess like Luka went nuclear. Like he went special. And that'd be it.
Well, before I say what I'm going to say, we went 28 minutes over our allotted time. So not only did we not beat the buzzer, but we went way over time. I'll say this. I think it's 50-50 the Thunder win it all because they clearly have another year in the playoffs. They still have Jalen Williams. However you feel about him. They've got an incredibly deep bench. They've got a great coach. They got possibly a 2-time MVP in SGA. I'm going to call it 50-50, though, because I think they beat probably anybody in the East if they were to make it to the finals.
Yes.
But they got to make it to the finals. And as you just heard, I think there's 3 teams that can legit beat them in the Wolves and the Spurs
and the
Nuggets.
Mostly shocked if the West doesn't win the finals.
Exactly. That's exactly why I had those. I didn't have any Eastern teams in my true contenders, and that's why.
So I'd be I'd be shocked if they didn't win the finals this year. And that's just how I'm feeling.
I'm gonna leave you with this. No team has repeated this decade. No team has repeated
Nope.
since the Kevin Durant fueled Golden State Warriors. Um,
Hmm.
so I'm gonna leave you with that. And I think I wouldn't
It's really been big threes or big two. Pretty much big threes have been the only thing that really repeat since ever. I
either a
mean, like,
dynamic duo
I
or a big three. Um, hey, I, I wouldn't be surprised if the Thunder don't make it back. Mind you, I don't know if this held true last year, but every year this decade has also rotated the conference finalists as well. So
yep, there has been no team since the Warriors have gotten to the conference finals. Even
unreal,
every team's lost in the second round.
unreal.
So
Keenan,
yeah,
take us away.
Warner Brothers podcast. What a fun time this was. What a time to go through all these tiers. TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. We're going to have a great stretch run of basketball. We're going to see a lot of high leverage players, a lot of great players. So I'm excited for it. Kyle is as well. We'll be talking way more basketball. We'll be talking music. We'll be talking a little football in there too with the drafts coming up around the corner summit here in the next couple months. So we got a lot of content coming for you, Warner Brothers podcast, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll see you soon.